Commissioner of Agriculture and Commerce. You know, a lot of these candidates have given you a number of good reasons why you ought to vote for them, but I got them all beat. I got 55 million plus reasons why you ought to vote for me. The current administration of the Department of Agriculture and Commerce wasted 55 million of your tax dollars on a failed cull cow plant. Some people call it a beef plant. Let me tell y'all what it really was. It was going to be a potted meat plant. The incumbent had that bright idea Mississippi folks would all get rich if we go into the potted meat business. Well, guess what? It didn't work. Mississippi State told him it wouldn't work, and it didn't. He started a goat meat plant down at Bay Springs. That failed. He came up with a bright idea of building a farmer's market in Jackson. Never mind, we'd already had one down there for 60 years. And I'm glad to report it's been there a year, and it's open on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Saturdays it closes at 2. And if you get there early, you might get a little old bag of peaches or tomatoes, and you might not. Now, I don't have the same qualifications as the incumbent. He's a veterinarian. If you got a sick cat or a sick horse, he can probably help you. But he's proven he doesn't know very much about economic development. Now, who am I? I've come from over 30 years of practical experience living and working and helping to build a successful family farm. The most important role of the Commissioner of Agriculture and Commerce is the promotion of Mississippi products. You'll hear a lot of talk about food safety, and food safety is important, but that's a national and an international issue, and the Mississippi Department of Agriculture and Commerce is a small agency. And at best, we can be a junior partner in the food safety process, but it's mainly a federal issue. I have spent my life as a peddler, a salesman, and an advocate. And Mississippi agriculture needs a voice, a strong and clear voice. The core competency of Mississippi farmers is production. They need assistance in marketing. And marketing assistance is far more than a stall in a shed in downtown Jackson, or a goofy little jingle on the radio, or a brand that nobody even recognizes. It's work. It's hard work. It's salesmanship all across the country, all across the globe, promoting the fact that Mississippi farmers are the most productive and they produce the highest quality products anywhere in the world. We can't let the beef plant scare us. There are a number of good projects out there that ought to be funded. But we got to listen to the experts. Why do we still not have a sweet potato processing facility in northeast Mississippi? Why has no one done any work to find a successor to Bryan Foods in West Point? I'll tell you why. The incumbent doesn't want to talk about meat processing to anybody, anywhere, anytime. He has no credibility on that subject. Now, I'll speak to you about segment of agriculture I know the most about, fresh fruits and vegetables. I've peddled watermelons off the back of a pickup truck in the projects in Laurel. I've sold truckloads of fresh vegetables to wholesalers in New Orleans. And I've advocated American democracy in arguments and debates with members of Parliament from Morocco to Taiwan. I'm a salesman, that's what I know. Fresh fruits and vegetables are $36 billion industry in the United States. A $36 billion industry. Mississippi has less than $80 million of that business. That ain't much money. That just wouldn't buy one more beef plant. $36 billion, and we got 0.2% of that business, yet we have 300 frost-free days in Mississippi. We have tens of thousands of Mississippians who want to work on the farm, who want to leave that job where the boss is a scoundrel and they hate to go to work, but they're there because they need some health insurance. We can do something about that. I have a vision for Mississippi agriculture, and it's based in common sense. We got to grow crops that make money. Some of the wealthiest counties in California, New York, New Jersey, South Carolina, North Carolina, and Georgia are agricultural counties. because they produce the crops there and they process the crops there. It's called value added. It's a no-brainer, but we don't have the leadership to work for that. We can do that here in Mississippi. We got a problem with people not wanting to work on outdoor jobs. They'd rather make $40 under the air conditioning than they had $150 out there in the heat. I'm old-fashioned. I believe what the Bible says. If a man would eat, let him work. Our youth have a problem with obesity and a problem with discipline. One of the best discipline and weight loss programs I know about involves about 12 or 15 long rows of oat bread. I have a 13-year-old nephew and a 2-year-old daughter. I want both of them to not have to go work for a boss that they think is a SOB, on a job that they hate to go to. I want them to be able to do what my daddy and granddaddy and I have always been able to do. Work on that land and make a living to sustain themselves and their families. But they've got to have help to do that. I'm 40 years old. I plead guilty to being aggressive and ambitious. I've never spent a minute on the state payroll, and I'm not asking you all to give me a few years for my retirement plan. I'm interested in building the engine of our economy. 30% of the jobs in this state are agriculture, $6 billion industry. It can be twice that with the right kind of leadership. We don't have to fly to Tokyo to find economic developers. They're right here in Mississippi. I want to work for you. I'll be the Democratic nominee on the ballot in November, and I need your help. I need your prayers and I need your support. I'm not a millionaire, and I don't like to ask other people for their money. If you take their money, they may want you to do something. But I've traveled over 13,000 miles and given over 70 speeches so far, and nobody will work harder. And if you think I've done a good job up here selling myself today, imagine what I can do in 4 years with much better products of Mississippi. Before I sit down, I got a little freebie for everybody here. A lot of y'all got fans. I got you a fly swat, because you know anywhere there's rotten meat, there's bound to be blowflies. So, and that stuff will get you clothes and everything else. So if you happen to see a